Welcome to the Sportz Phenz Show. The show where, just like you, we can't get enough sports.
The 47-year wait is over! And the Nuggets win it! Wilson throwing, it's up for grabs, it is caught for the touchdown! And the Denver Broncos have taken Super Bowl 50. And the Avalanche are 2022 Stanley Cup champions! And a shot into the back of the net for Diego Rubio!
Now here's your hosts, Arthur Knight and Larry Perkins.
1-0 Rapids. They are champions.
Yo, what's good in the hood? Welcome to the Sportz Phenz Show. I am Arthur Knight, and with me, as always, is Mr. LP Larry Perkins.
Welcome back, man.
Yeah, thank you for holding down the fort somewhat while I was gone on vacation. So a lot to get to, but first let me get to where we're coming from. We are coming to from words are hard. We're coming to you live from 4300 West Alameda and Sohai Cafe here in Denver, Colorado. Come on by, get you some Viper Pit barbecue. Say what's up to Vinny. Tell him the Sportz Phenz sent you. We are also being brought to you by INV Vision. INV Vision is an optometry office that provides comprehensive eye exam and medically focused eye exams. They are in Aurora, Colorado. Their team members and leadership include a group of diverse individuals with years of experience. They are from the community, for the community. INV Vision is at 700 South Buckley Road. You can call them at 720-762-4290. Get your eye exam, contact lens exam, designer eyewear. I got these glasses here from there. You know what I'm saying? Say what's up to Bryson. Tell him the Sportz Phenz sent you. INV Vision, we see you. All right. So let's get to before we get to the NBA, because you know we can talk for hours on that, and we only have one. So let's start though with the college, the NCAA.
Yeah, man.
I unfortunately did not get to watch these epic games yesterday. I had to work, so
I mean, it was two for the ages.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a darn Houston, you know, that I rooted for all last year, and they failed me. Actually going to win it this year.
I had them all the way this year, man.
Wow,
I had them all the way. I still think they're going to win. Florida looks good, though. Florida does look good. I'm not going to lie. I did see some highlights, and I've been watching, all the way up until yesterday, which I don't know.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to me. I should have been at least listening, but
Yeah.
I did not. So I'm going to let you run with this one because
me and
what did you see in that Houston Duke game?
Well, it was like a little disappointment. Me and Vinny talked about this last weekend.
Mhm.
That all four teams, all number ones,
Mhm.
it was going to be a slugfest, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like that. First, I want to get into the Houston and the Duke game,
Mhm.
which was it was an epic game, 70-67. Duke lost, but when it started off, it was like a little slugfest, and the youth of Duke really prevailed all the way up until I would say the 8th minute mark of the second half.
Mhm.
But the whole first half,
Houston is a team that has gone deep a couple years in a row.
Couple of years.
Experienced players. And Marks wants to chime in.
Three previous championships for the Cougars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. When were they though? They were.
I don't know when, but
Yeah, I was gonna say they were a while
they've
ago.
been there
though.
3 times.
Yeah.
They've been there 3 times. This is the 4th, I guess. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a good team, man. I was rooting for them last year. They just didn't have it last year, but this year, man, they
Yeah.
knew exactly what they were
The
doing.
experience.
They were methodical in all of their wins.
But the first half, and Mark could attest to this, you know what I'm saying, they was getting mollywopped by Duke. The talent was there for Duke. Colin Knippel, and
You just like saying his name.
they just hung in there, man. They just hung in there, and they got that lucky the call at the end on Cooper Flag.
That's
You know what I mean? Because that was a little, that's a little controversial. You know what I mean?
What happened? I
He
don't know
kind of
what
came
happened.
over the back a little bit, but I don't know, man. I don't know if they would have called that or they would have
That
been
was
calling
just
that,
getting
right?
ready for the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah.
We gonna give you some calls, boy.
Oh man, now I really regret not watching these games because I'm not missing it on Monday though. I'll be listening at
Well,
bare minimum.
I tell you what, just check out the last 2 minutes of each game, and you
That's
pretty
what's
much, I mean, Auburn controlled the game early, and they looked really good, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they even got up. They got up like 10 points on them, I think, at one point in time.
Just like Duke was.
Right,
You're
exactly,
Both
yeah.
games it's like the same pattern.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, see, Florida, even though they're number one, they were kind of they're that Cinderella number one out of all the number ones. They definitely, because Florida hadn't been since, what was it, at least 7 years since Florida has even been this close or sniffed a championship game. So they're kind of that Cinderella number one. I'm not surprised that they're there. They have played very well. I did watch them all throughout this tournament. They have played very well. I did not think they were going to beat Auburn, but man,
Yeah, dude.
I
I thought this was Auburn's year, honestly. Just
This is
how
why they play
were
the games,
playing.
though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And you know who was there also? It was a lot of NBA scouts.
yeah.
There was a lot of NBA scouts.
Well, I mean, pretty much everybody but me was watching. So, I mean, it's just billions of people were watching, and of course, scouts are watching. I honestly think that Cooper Flagg and Knipple and I do like just saying his name.
Colin
But yeah, but I think them cats should stay one more year.
that would be perfect. But
I mean, I know
not.
that's a risk
Yeah.
for them. I know that's a
Right.
risk. But man, I think if you play one more year, they win it. They
because
win it
the
next
thing
year.
is, they were so talented.
They win it
and-
next year. Now that experience, they win it next year.
Definitely. And that's what happened with Houston. And I remember the coach Sampson was telling them,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, they deep in talent, but we have experience. They was
Mm-hmm.
long and they had experience. They challenged. They did a number. I can't remember his name from Houston, but they did a number on Malawak, the center from the 7'2" center. Mark, you said they concealed him.
yeah.
They concealed him, and
Yeah,
he's 7'2".
That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they switched a lot on him.
That their defense.
Houston's defense
Yeah,
is
dude.
monster. It's monster.
I actually saw a meme that was like, they got 2 ballers and 3 guys who could play for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean, for real. And their
like, yeah,
defense,
dude, that's true.
their defense, they play on a string, man. Like how Mike Malone tries to get the Denver Nuggets to do.
Yep.
That's how their defense is
It
played.
just
like
rotates along. And
Yeah.
you
every,
might get
every
your
time
matchup.
you take a dribble, there's a guy in your face. You know what I'm saying? You'll get like you were
right.
about to say. I think you get a favorable matchup, but as soon as you get past that, you still have another layer of defense that you have to get through, and it's not impossible
But
because
that's
Houston
smart,
can be
though.
beaten.
That's smart, though. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
But that line's kind of going away with the how players are multi-talented in different positions now. You know what I mean? There's like guard forwards, and then there's centered guards. You
Well,
know what I mean?
yeah.
And like stuff like that. So in the
The
defense,
athleticism is off the chart.
yeah. So eventually, I think there's going to be parity within the actual positions in basketball. You know what I mean? So
That's
Yeah.
what we're saying right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, they've been saying for at least the past 4 or 5 years, basketball has become
A
positionless game.
Right.
And you can honestly thank the European game for that, or the world game
Yes, sir.
version of our game. You can thank them for that because that's basically how they play. Like at one point in time, Nuggets center Nikola Jokic was the point guard for his team. Like,
Yeah.
he played center for them this time, but at one point in time, he was the point guard. And he was not the tallest guy on the team. Like homeboy that played in John Wick, he was the center at the time.
Oh.
I can't think of his name right now. Bondanovich?
Oh yeah, Bogdanovich.
Yeah,
right.
Bogdanovich, I think is his name. But anyways, he was the center, but Jokic was playing like that shooting guard, through forward position.
Right.
And it's just, that game has created positionless basketball. These guys can play any number of positions, and it's become fluid. And now it's trickled into the college game, and it's just become position. You're not going to be signed as a guard. You're just going to be signed as a player. When you
Yeah.
sign to a team, to a school, you're not going to be, hey, guard. When they announce, it's not going to be number 17 at guard. It's just going to be number 17, such and such name.
Right.
And
That being said, though, classic bully ball back down post moves. Like Auburn early, dude. Broom.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Broom.
He controlled the post.
Bro,
He controlled the post.
man.
You couldn't stop him.
He looked like a little Carlos Boozer
And he was
out
backing
there.
everyone
Okay.
out. Yeah,
Yeah,
he looked
I'm
like the
saying-
round bound or rebound out
He
there.
was-
It was crazy, dude. Like he was, yeah.
well, that's
So-
what's up.
He was backing people down, and
So-
I was like, dude, that's old school. You know what I
You
mean?
know, I
That's
was-
like,
I was
not
over there
very
scouting.
European,
Yeah, I was over there scouting myself. I was looking to see who the Lakers could pick up.
I know. I was looking at well, first, my favorite question to ask when I'm watching these players in college is like, how many people is this the highest level of basketball they're going to play? You know what I mean? And how many which one of these guys are going to move on? You know what I mean? Because that's always like a really exciting prospect. You know what I mean? But,
Most of these guys will be in the G League. Most of these guys will be in the G League
Yeah.
or on two ways. There's only 2 rounds, and I can't remember exactly how many teams are in the league off the top of my head right now.
It's
But
60 picks.
so 60 picks per round.
Well,
no, it's just 60 picks overall, right?
It's 30 teams.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and
I
even
mean,
those players don't necessarily,
Yeah.
even
Look
the
no
ones that
further-
get drafted are on two ways, and you
Right.
know.
Look no further than Austin Reeves. He averaging 20 points for the Lakers. He was undrafted. He didn't even get drafted.
Yeah.
nope.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
man.
they like
came
dang.
up through the G League.
A G leaguer.
Yep. Came up through the G League. Came into the NBA and showed what he can do.
Put a-
I mean, it does help to have, one of the greats on the floor
Talk about,
that
hey, I
could.
like that kid.
Well, not even that. It takes a lot of pressure. Having LeBron James or any type of LeBron James, Michael Jordan. That's why it was so easy on Kerr and Pippen and Rodman to do their role, is because Michael Jordan took a lot of the heat, right? He took a lot of the attention that allows you to just play freely.
Actually, yeah. Actually, that's what Austin Reeves said too.
Yeah, he can
know?
just be him and play within the structure of his game, and that'll work for them. If he was on, like, let's say Charlotte,
Portland.
Washington, Portland.
That's funny. Yeah,
No, I mean,
no, that's
for
perfect.
real,
No,
like-
you guys both named 2 great teams for that example. Yeah.
Two great teams for the
Exactly. If he
lottery.
played for like Atlanta or, man, y'all are messed up. I mean, he might do some good in New Orleans because they actually do have pieces in place that could spread the floor.
Yeah.
They don't have a superstar, though.
Well, I don't know. I just get so because right now they talking about load management and they talking about tanking in the NBA, which a lot of teams are. Look at New Orleans, what they did. They just rested their top 7 players for
Right.
the rest of the season, and that's what makes me so mad about the NBA.
Well, to me, that's a business decision, man.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're
I
not.
mean,
It's not necessarily.
But the fans, though.
Boy, you about had me cuss. I was about to say F them fans. Because if I'm the owner of the team, like, let's just say, if I'm the owner of the team,
with millions of dollars of assets in these guys.
I'm not trying to risk having them injure themselves and then I have to pay them, while injured. Like, I'd rather pay them sitting on the bench and have them for next year and retool around them than have them get injured. Going on what are you playing for? The fans?
I was like, man,
Are you playing for the fans, really?
F them tickets.
And
Hey,
don't know. When it
think
comes
we-
to injury, I understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Load management, you understand?
Load management, that's questionable.
If you're a team that is playing for something, like if you're in that almost to the play-in spot, you know what I'm saying? Like that 11th, 10th spot, you're almost into the play-in, then yes, I agree, you should be playing. But it's not necessarily for just the fans, man. And I understand the fans are what drives the league. But the bottom line is that the fans don't have millions of dollars tied into these players. The fans don't have if these players get injured, do the fans have to shell out the money to pay them? No, they're paying $50, $60 up to, thousands of dollars, couple $1,000 to help pay for that salary. But that, how many arenas have enough ticket prices to spread, you know, you're $90. Let's say you pay $90 a ticket on average, right?
Okay.
How much is that going to each player? To their millions. How much of that $90?
Yeah, but there's only a small amount of $90 tickets. The rest of them are.
Well, I mean,
You know?
okay, but let's
Come
go
on,
up.
man.
Let's say the 2,000. Let's go up to the most expensive ones.
Sure.
$2,000 to $3,000 courtside seats, right?
Right.
How much is that split between 4 players that are getting the max deals? Or let's say most teams have 2, right? Most
Yeah.
teams that have stars, they have 2 max deal players on average. How much of that 2-3 grand goes to the 2-3 players
I would
that are
like to-
making multi-millions of
I would
dollars?
like to see that breakdown, honestly. Like, there's a record label that I follow, and they did. This is how much when you buy a record. This is exactly how much, and they broke down per dollar who gets what.
Well, here's
per
the
each
thing,
record, you know what I mean?
fellas.
That'd be nice to see.
Here's the thing that most people don't realize
What's
is that most teams, their revenues, especially now, ever since 70s, 80s, when TV revenues started coming in like heavily into professional sports,
Right.
that's where these teams make their money.
I know.
So the
Yeah.
fans that sit at home and watch TV,
and contributing.
they are contributing.
They're
the
almost
one.
contributing more.
They're contributing more.
Because the advertising dollars are worth more to the league, I think.
The advertisement, the TV revenue is where teams make their money. It's not the ticket sales. It's not concessions.
I think
It's-
that's
they
gonna
make a lot of their money from that. They make their base money off of that, renting out the stadium when their team isn't playing in theirs, where they make most of their revenue. It's not really the ticket sales themselves. It's not, you know, a lot of the clothing line goes to them, but a part of that goes to the player as well. So, the bottom line is that these teams, I do not blame these teams that have stars, that have almost max deals, at least barely, you know, not league minimum teams, not those teams, but the teams that have stars that could be superstars and get max deals. They're resting them. They're not playing for anything. And if you are a fan, if you are a true fan, to me,
Right.
you go to those games anyway. Those tickets are going to be cheap, and I like watching my Nuggets because I've been watching the Nuggets forever. And when they were giving away tickets,
Dude.
I was watching the Denver Nuggets and going to those games.
Yep.
And that was garbage. It was garbage to watch. But
hard.
I love basketball so much, and I love my team so much that I still went to those games and supported the players that were wearing the Denver Nuggets logo. So that's why I said F them fans. If you're not
how much you love the Nuggets, like give me a good, because I'm about to tie it into something.
Okay. Like, I mean, give me
You
a
li-
comparison. Like, I love the Nuggets more than I love most things. It's like,
love-
God, my daughter's Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
I'm just being real, man. I love my Nuggets.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. That's the,
I think
So what's
that's
the...
the tie-in is. Well,
Yeah.
actually, it's no tie-in. Anyway, it was just like Carmelo.
that's funny, dude.
no. The thing is that Carmelo Anthony is going to the Hall of Fame.
Not as a Denver Nugget.
Really?
He didn't retire as a Denver Nugget.
No.
But you still can.
Where did he even
go.
retire at? Was it Houston?
I've been trying
or
to...
Portland?
I think it was
It
Portland.
was Lakers. He went to the Lakers. That's right.
Did he retire from the Lakers? Okay.
Well, he ain't going to no Lakers.
Well,
Interesting. I don't know. Well, he's gonna go to the Hall of Fame.
I think he's going to go in as a Nugget because that's
Man,
where
I
he played
just-
the most.
it's not. He played in more years as the Knicks
No,
than he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
more than
he-
7.
He played more.
Yes.
Most of
More
his
than 7.
career in-
Yes. Hold on a second. I'll find it for you.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I'm talking about, because another player that plays on the Nuggets have a number 15.
Yeah.
Yep. And it has been done. The actual team that Carmelo played with, that got traded from the Nuggets to the Knicks. He had to wear number 7 because he couldn't wear
That's
number
right.
15 because number 15 was retired twice.
Right.
This is a
By
stupid
Maguire.
conversation.
No, it's not. man.
Yes, it
That's what
is
I'm
because
saying, man.
Carmelo Anthony does not belong in the Denver Nuggets rafters.
Yeah.
Come on.
I
Doesn't.
struggle with this, dude. I just
See,
struggle with this
that's
because
not that far-fetched.
he brought attention to the team.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that,
Okay.
okay. And dude, and I struggle with it just because, like, yeah, he didn't play no defense, and that annoys the crap out of me when a guy is like so one-sided. Okay, he was a prolific scorer, but there's many in front of him still too. You know what I mean? So it's not like
You mean in front of him, like for the Nuggets?
no.
Or
I mean,
just in NBA.
in the NBA in general,
Right.
You know what I mean? He wasn't like. I mean, was he even top 5 really in his like?
He was a
like
bad
class?
boy.
I mean, he was
can't-
bad.
He was a
I
great
can't-
scorer.
He was a
He
great
was a-
scorer.
And he
was a-
deserves to go into the NBA or any kind of basketball Hall of Fame. He's won gold medals. He's
Yeah.
won a national championship on the
Right.
collegiate level. But he hasn't won anything in the NBA. But he did leave his mark. So I do believe that he does deserve to go into the NBA Hall of Fame. I don't
He is.
hate Carmelo Anthony. I just don't believe that he retired. He didn't retire as a Nugget. He forced his way out as a Denver Nugget.
Right.
So no, he
That's-
doesn't belong in the rafters as if they decide to let's say softer hearts prevail in let's say 3 or 4 years, they decide to hang his name in the rafters. It will be by name only. It cannot be with the number 15 because he was not the best number 15.
No.
He just wasn't. He isn't, and he's never will be. The
But-
number 15 that we have now won a championship with that number.
Yep.
His number 15 will hang in the rafters no matter what. Period. He's I don't hate Carmelo Anthony. I think Carmelo Anthony did a lot. I had his jersey when he played for the Nuggets.
Yeah, no. And
I mean-
like I said, he made this not a flyover basketball state, as far as like a city, as far as basketball goes, you know what I mean? So I think
But he
there's-
also led the ignorance of a team that had no interest in winning. They were just interested in getting contracts. Period.
But that's
Kmart, all of them.
that's a sign of that generation, though, of basketball, dude.
Yeah, but
LeBron,
there were still players that won in that generation. This team
Yeah.
didn't.
No.
This team didn't. It took
got
a
close.
Mr. Big Shot.
That was a talented team, though.
It
The
was
only
a talented team.
Only reason Allen
Hard work
Iverson,
beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, though.
Only
So
reason Allen Iverson won, because at first he didn't want to come, but once he found out he was coming here to play with Carmelo,
Yeah.
he was okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps,
okay, so I was wrong. He played 8 years in Denver, but he played 7 years in New York. But here's my point: he played 7 years in New York, 2 years in Portland, 1 year in OKC, 1 year in as a Laker, 1 year as Houston. So he did retire in Houston, or no, he did, LA was the last one. So he spent more time not as a Nugget than he did as a Nugget.
Sure. I mean,
Okay.
So
Yeah,
and he didn't
I'll take
retire as a Nugget. So he doesn't deserve to get now.
I understand what you're saying, but the thing is, it's like
Maybe we
like
give him
how
a
Mark
little-
was saying,
we'll give him a little mini Mello statue, like in that
I
commercial.
mean, see, that's why y'all guys need to do what the Lakers do. The Lakers, when they trade somebody, they don't touch their jersey. Nobody gets to.
You know what I'd be
Right.
okay with?
Look,
You know what I'd be okay with?
Yes, sir.
I'd be okay with putting like a bronze head or something within the arena with his stats and everything, not his number,
Yeah.
but his stats and everything. I'd be okay
like
with
a little
that.
plaque or something.
I'd be okay with that.
But okay, I think the answer to this question was when the Nuggets let Jokic wear number 15.
But he wasn't the first person that played 15
them.
after Carmelo
I guess.
But
Anthony
the
left.
thing is,
so.
you hold that. That's what the Lakers did when they traded Shaq to Miami. They held
32
34. They held 34.
Okay.
Nobody wore 34. Like right now, when Anthony Davis, even though Anthony Davis is in Dallas right now, nobody's gonna wear 33 until Anthony Davis.
That's what I'm saying. Like
That's dumb as hell.
Until Anthony Davis.
That's stupid. Why would you do that?
We're gonna run out of numbers eventually, y'all.
For real. There's only so many numbers. You're going to have people out there, number 127. Like, what are we
we're gonna
doing
have
here?
To go to triple digits because
What are we doing here?
Yeah. Okay.
That's stupid.
Okay.
That's stupid,
All
man.
right.
If you are great and a Hall of Famer for that particular team, Anthony Davis is not a Hall of Fame Laker. That's why he got traded. He's not a Hall of Fame Laker. Name me one other Laker that was traded from the Lakers.
You getting it? You better step in your
That's
own.
a Hall of
You
Famer.
about to step in your own poop.
Why?
Go ahead, say it.
No, I'm asking you.
You said name you another Hall of Famer that got
A
traded.
Hall of Famer that was drafted by the Lakers.
We didn't draft Anthony Davis.
No,
You're,
that's
you're
right.
proving my point.
Pelicans.
You're
No.
proving my point. He's not a all-time Laker great. So why would you hold his number? Why would you retire his number? Why would you not allow another person to wear that number? If it was Larry Bird, MJ, even Charles Barkley, those are numbers that those guys were drafted by their teams, stayed with those teams, helped those teams get to the highest points. Excuse me, I'm very passionate about this because I really I love Carmelo. I love Carmelo Anthony as a player, just not as a Nugget. He wasn't a very good Nugget. He was a great player, but he wasn't a good Nugget. He had no interest in helping this city win a championship.
Right, and there's nothing against, like I say, I love Carmelo. You know what I'm saying? Everybody here loved Carmelo. Carmelo was like,
yeah,
he was fun to watch.
He was. He was
very
offense. Fun to watch.
I love watching him. I mean, when he give you 30, you're gonna feel that 30. You know what I'm saying? He was man.
But that's the thing, is he had many 30-point games here, and we lost.
He had 50.
I wonder what it felt like we lost a lot of them still. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Which Jokic just had a 61-point game, and we lost that game by a point.
That was an awesome game.
Yeah.
That was a crazy game.
That was a really good game.
That was a really good game.
Got a bit robbed.
Wild card. Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, but I understand what you said. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like me outside. I'm not a Nuggets fan, but just outside looking in, he meant so much to your organization. You know, I remember the times we went to the Western Conference Finals. You know,
no, that can't be denied.
Because when he came, we got the baby blue jerseys, and then people started
was nice.
And then people just started buying the jersey because it looked cool.
Yeah, that was nice.
And it was like, oh, light blue. Yeah, let's do it.
Just like when Alice English got there and they started doing the blue with the little coloring, the mile high.
Yeah, the rainbow.
Man,
exactly. Yep, exactly.
Those was like iconic. That's why I'm saying when I think about Melo, I think about my favorite player in the '80s to watch was my favorite all time was Magic.
Yeah.
But like I was telling Arthur, Alice English scored the more points than anybody in the NBA in the '80s.
Yeah.
The more Alice English was a bucket. He was great.
Yeah.
I even got an Alice English jersey.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he reminded me of that.
Right.
He's like, he basically changed the culture for Denver basketball.
Absolutely.
He was a 10-time All-Star, six-time All-NBA. He is in the NBA 75th anniversary team. Mm-hmm. He's a scoring champion, and he was in the All-Rookie team.
Dude,
nobody is denying that he's a great basketball player.
But also, on your point of not being a great Nugget, he was also on the team that brought us to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since the 94
Alice English
team, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, since the 94 team with Robert Pack and Mutombo.
And all the West Finals?
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Okay, yeah, I was thinking stupid.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
Yeah. No, but he did great things for the city. He did put Denver back on the map. Basketball wise. But he never had any ambition other than making a paycheck off of Denver.
And to score.
That's it. He always his whole mental was to get his bag here in Denver, and then go play for other teams to try to get his chip.
Yep.
And it never happened. And I'm not to hate. I'm glad he didn't get a chip. He should have tried to win one here had he been patient. Here's what I really thank Melo for was when he forced his way out. That gave the Denver Nuggets the exact picks they needed to get Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic.
Yep.
So thank you.
Thank
Melo. Thank you for whining like a little bi and getting yourself forced out of here.
Even though we had to deal with that weird Knicks West team.
Yeah,
because we basically got the Knicks.
They emptied out their entire bench and gave us all of their picks to get Melo, and they didn't win anything with him there. 7 years he spent there, and they didn't win anything.
So many players from that, dude.
We did.
Felton, Gallinari.
Yeah.
Gallinari.
Was Aaron Aflalo part of that whole thing?
No, I don't think AAA.
He came out of the way.
Yeah. I don't think it was AAA, but either way, thank you, Carmelo Anthony, for pushing your way out and deciding, and the Knicks were willing to give up their entire future to get him.
And they did.
And it gave the Denver Nuggets a future. So thank you for Carmelo Anthony on that one. But we do not hang his jersey. I think he would be happier if his jersey was hung in New York anyway.
Yeah, right.
I honestly do, and he played almost as many seasons there as he did here.
And he won in Syracuse, and he lives in New York.
He's from New York.
He's from New York. He'd probably like it better. That's fine.
That's not from New York, but he's from the East Coast. I think he's from
honestly,
Maryland or something.
I would be disappointed to see a Jokic/Anthony banner. You know what I mean? That would not be cool.
I mean, the Knicks got it.
That would not be cool.
I don't think it'd be cool.
No,
I don't want to see that.
No, I don't want to see that at all.
15 Jokic.
I do not want to see Carmelo Anthony's jersey in the rafters at all. I don't care what number you put on it. You could put 15.5, my dude. I don't care.
Very strong.
I'm gonna petition
Anyways,
for that.
for this topic
I'm gonna make Arthur mad. I'm gonna petition that.
No, I'm not
I'm
mad.
on 215s. That's gonna be the
I think you're gonna lose because ownership.
215s.
I guarantee you, ownership of the Denver Nuggets feels exactly the way I do. I guarantee you.
I'm gonna take me.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have allowed anybody to touch the number 15.
Yeah, Jokic would have had to pick another number.
If there was any reverence
anyone else
whatsoever
before that,
from the team to Carmelo Anthony, the minute he got traded, they'd have done your dumbass idea, and they would have held anybody from driving or wearing his number. Nobody wears 15 because Carmelo Anthony wore 15 here, and
I'm gonna
now
take,
he's in New York.
I'm gonna take like 20 people. They take 215s. 215s. We're going to make them retire.
The name of your movement.
215s.
215s in Denver.
And you were going to get laughed out of the city.
215s, 303.
215s.
That's all numbers, dude.
I know.
Nah, they can give him his love. They can give him his love without putting his jersey in the rafters. There's only 115 that truly deserves to have his number retired.
Because he brought a championship.
He brought a championship here. He brought a culture of being a all-star because that's what he is.
Historical, great.
He's
NBA
an all-star. But you ask this guy, anything about his accolades, that his singular accolades for him, and he doesn't care.
No.
He's like, I just care about this team winning. And this dude has been a fan of the Nuggets since he was 5 or something. There's a picture, circulating that he's actually been a fan of the Denver Nuggets for a long time. But he brought a different culture here and was like, I can be a superstar. I can be the best player in the world, but I'm going to get my other team around me, and it's all about them. It's not about me. And Carmelo Anthony was an exact reverse of that. It was all about Carmelo and allowing him to get his shots. And you got to get the ball to Melo, And it's like, no, there's 4 other dudes on the court that you could utilize. That's why Jokic has triple-doubles all the time, man, is because he's trying to make his guys around him better and showcase their skills, and then when he has to, he takes over the game. Yep. And that's the way it should be. I would argue that even Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan eventually, once he got the right coach, eventually.
So you think if he would have had a better coach, maybe Melo could buy into it?
No, because Coach
Carl,
Coach Carl coached superstars before. He had coached superstars. Allen, Peyton, the Rain Man, Kemp. You know what I'm saying? Detlef Shrimp. He had already coached and had been an established coach to be able to get guys who have. And you can't tell me the Glove doesn't have an ego.
Oh yeah.
This is the same man that said he could shut down and did shut down Michael Jordan, which never happened. That never happened. Not from the games I watched.
Not anything I saw.
Yeah, that did not happen. But this man has an ego and a half. Sean Kemp, ego and a half. Yes, they still never won anything in Seattle, and the Denver Nuggets did beat them when they were a 1 seed. And they went to a finals, played against Jordan. But they didn't win it all. But yet he was still able to curb all of those egos into a winning team. It was Carmelo Anthony got in his own way. Carmelo Anthony was the one that decided, and Kmart and, even AI, when AI came, none of them fools wanted to listen to the coach, and we were going to go out there and play street ball and do whatever we needed to do.
Camby listened.
Yeah, but Camby's one guy.
He said, "Hi, coach."
I honestly wish Camby was still playing for this team right now, like in his youth, fast forward him to today, because he would literally be the perfect backup for for Nikola Jokic.
Ambulance.
He'd be the perfect backup. But anyways, I digress. You got me going down a rabbit hole.
I told you I get him mad. Did I tell you?
You guys
Not
know.
mad. I'm not mad.
I'm not mad, but
You guys ever heard that story about how Kobe, why he hated Denver so much?
Oh yeah, because of what Carl said.
No, well, George Karl sat him in the All-Star game against MJ in the second half.
Oh, I thought you mean was what happened in Eagle County.
So
He also said something though. He said the reason why
yeah.
he sat him.
Oh, okay.
There was a reason why. I can't remember what it was, but yes.
But supposedly because of that, he's like, I'll never let Denver win anything ever again.
Ever again.
That's why they
I'll never
shut
let
us
them
out
win.
in the Western Conference Finals.
Yep. That's why every time he came into Denver
He had his A
or
game.
played Denver, he was scoring 40-plus points a game
Yeah.
just because of Carl.
Yeah, but those players is pretty far between. They're not there no more. They just use that little something to motivate. They just a little. Oh man, he was chewing gum next to me.
Yeah.
That
See, I like
back
that.
No, back in the day, those would make great players great.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They use the littlest anything to motivate
Why
them.
is he chewing gum on the court? I don't like that.
I don't like that. I'm finna go for 40.
He tied his shoelaces funny.
You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get a triple-double. Don't you tie them laces like that.
He'll never do that again.
Yep.
Tell you that.
And you, for real, you think of all the players back in those days in the 90s and stuff, you know, you think about their motivation. They be saying the randomest stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't need motivation in the 80s and 90s. They hated each other.
They hated each other.
They literally, you
they
ask
weren't-
any of those players, they hated genuinely
They weren't hanging out at the
hated
club
each other. These
together.
players now are best friends.
I know
They came up in the AAU.
Yeah.
They came up in all of these leagues and stuff. They knew each other before they got to the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're all buddies. It wasn't that way.
No, it wasn't no AAU.
Nah.
No.
Nah. I mean, it was around. It was around like the, Gold Crown here in Colorado.
And-
they had that around. But
It wasn't big, though.
no,
Like,
in the 80s and 90s when you got to the NBA, friends was friends. Business was business.
Yeah.
Like I know Larry Bird and Magic Johnson had a very healthy friendship off the court. But on the court, they tried to tear each other's
but
heads
they
off,
never
literally.
They never really hung out, though.
Nah, but they were friends. They were cordial and stuff off
Right.
the court.
That's-
They wasn't the
man.
best of friends though, but they hated each other. Like, yeah. I
That's
know
why-
that's funny to say they're friends, but they hated each other. But
Yeah,
it was
that's-
true. They
It was
were
cordial, like you said.
they were acquaintances. They weren't friends really.
That's why I kind of liked when the Cougars were getting off the court and they're like everyone was kind of shaking hands. They're like they weren't forced to shake hands or anything, but like the main guy from Houston, the guy who hit the game-winning shot, walked by Cooper Flag and he barely even
you talking about
acknowledged him.
Crier?
Yeah.
Crier, yeah.
And like he barely even acknowledged them, dude. And I was like, oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, keep that. You know what I mean?
You gotta keep that edge, man.
Yeah.
You gotta keep that edge,
That's
man.
the thing that the NBA, I mean personally feel the NBA is missing is that. You know what I'm saying? When I
What
seen,
friends is friend, business is business.
Yeah, right. When I seen the Pacers and the Piston game, and they was going at it, I was like giddy. I was like,
Yeah.
I
was
believe
like,
that
because
that era of basketball died like right after
2006, right?
Well, right after Kobe, like the last time you ever saw that was like when Kobe and them went to go do the Redeem Team, and he said, give me the ball. I'm going right through Powell's chest.
Oh, 2008.
First play,
2000.
right? That was the last era or time of basketball where now it's to the point where
Everyone's so
I'm not saying
comfortable.
it's soft. I'm not calling it soft.
No.
But you can't do a lot of the things. Everything that you used to do in the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s is now a foul. It's a flagrant foul, either a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2. Like when a man goes up and you give him a little, help to the ground. Can't do that anymore.
Can't help them down.
Can't help him down.
You
You
can't
can help him up,
but
but you can't help him down.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, you should be able to do both.
I mean, in the 80s and 90s, man, it was a mixture of football play. Like Charles Oakley
I
and
love
them.
the 90s.
That dude never played a
Yeah,
game of
dude.
basketball in his life.
And just the crowd
just-
too was more electric in the 80s
I
and
love
90s.
when the final
you know what I
score
mean?
was
Like,
90 to
Well,
79.
they wanted to see that.
It almost felt like everyone had a knife in their pocket, and it was like, you start talking too much, you're gonna get stuck, man.
It was.
Yeah.
That's why we were a little worried when we went into Barclays in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad
It
though.
ain't like
they were
that at
nice.
all, dude.
No, they
No,
were
we had a
nice. The
great
people
time.
around us were nice. I mean, we weren't
we were in the
assholes
section
either.
where Nuggets fans. Actually, we were in a section with Nuggets fans.
We
there.
were.
Yeah.
When we were in Madison Square Garden, we were in a section with Nuggets fans as well.
Mm.
There were a few Knickerbockers around us.
Sure.
But they were all nice, especially the lady in front of me. I dropped my phone cheering for a Denver Nuggets score, and she looked at me, and true story, she said, "How bad do you want your phone back?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And I'm checking for my phone, and she holds it up, and she was like, "Here, I'm just being nice." And I was like, in a New York accent, though, like this is thick-ass Manhattan. Like,
Oh, that's funny.
yeah, she gave me my phone back. I ended up buying them a drink.
Nice.
But yeah, that was cool. That was a cool experience for us. We, you know, I don't know, just a short tangent here. I know we're running short on time, but it's something that I started, but my friends have basically encompassed. But we have this thing. We missed this year. We did miss this year, and that's just, you know, financial, all kinds of stuff. See,
Oh, look at you.
see,
Don't-
did it.
Dang,
I
man.
did it.
Look at my way.
Did it.
Don't-
Now I can't say nothing to Vinny.
You can't.
Say nothing.
Anyway, financial stuff, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But we have this thing every year. We try to catch a Nuggets game in another city. We've been to several different places. My favorite one thus far is in New York City, but I'm thinking next year we should try LA because we could try to get, once the schedule come out.
I'm surprised
We
you
could-
ain't been there to LA.
Not yet.
Oh,
But that it's on the list. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
This guy tried to convince me to do Portland this
yeah,
year.
Portland, dog.
And I'm like, yeah, Portland?
You know it's gonna be raining.
Portland?
Great time. It's gonna be a
Portland?
great time.
Man, they's electric
Portland?
out there. Rip City, baby.
Yeah, Rip City.
Rip City.
what we're talking about.
Portland is crazy.
Yeah, Larry
Portland
knows.
is terrible.
I went to Portland.
Larry knows.
I went to Portland. Yeah. I thought Lil Jon was up in there. a little Oregonian. What
funny.
they call him, Oregonian.
Portland's
That's
on
a-
the list. Okay, Portland's on the list, but it's at the very bottom of the list.
That's some destination basketball right
Like
there.
we haven't even been to Miami
I don't know what
yet.
you're talking about.
Oh.
We haven't even been to Miami yet. We haven't been to LA yet. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go to Charlotte than go to
Yeah.
Portland.
Damn.
Damn.
Charlotte's got ain't Charlotte close to Myrtle Beach?
Mm.
Like, come on now.
They got beaches in Portland too.
Yeah. Shoot. they got Humpback Beach. Humpback Beach.
Both of y'all need to stop smoking whatever you're smoking or pass it. Anyway, because y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. But yeah, we have this bucket list. I mean, we've already seen them, like I said, in Phoenix. But my favorite one was when we went to New York. And hopefully, and it was a blessing, really, because we ended up getting I was going there for the Madison Square Garden game against the Knicks. But it just so had turned out that they were playing the Nets the next day. Right?
Yes.
And it just so happened that Mark, and this is completely coincidental.
I was there on a whole nother trip.
Yep, he was there on a whole nother trip, and we were just there. It was me, him, our friend Lucas, and our other friend from Phoenix, Artie, and Mark's girlfriend, Bonnie. I almost brain farted on your name, Shouty. I'm sorry. But anyways, so we ended up going to the Barclays one, but the day before we had gone to the Knicks, but it was just a blessing in you know, because of the fact that it just so happened that they were playing both teams and we could just hop from city to city. Well, one city, but you know what I mean, from borough to borough.
Over the river.
Yeah, from borough to borough. It's the first time I'd ever ridden on a boat in my entire life, and these
Wow.
guys convinced me to get on a ferry. I was
You got on
terrified.
That's
I was mortified.
Wow.
Mark probably doesn't remember this because I don't remember if you rode the
I wasn't
ferry
there with
us.
you guys. on
Yeah,
that
that's
one.
how.
No, because
so it was
we
me.
met at the stadium.
That's
Yeah.
right. We did meet at the stadium. That's right. No, we met for lunch, but yeah.
Yeah,
but
it
anyway,
was over by then.
anyways, you didn't ride the boat with us, but yes, my friend, our friend Lucas and Artie convinced me to catch a ferry across the Hudson, and I had never been on a boat in my life. I've been on a jet ski on a lake, you know, here in Colorado.
Yeah.
But that's the most I had been on anything floating on water
watercraft.
that I can't see the bottom to. Okay.
Sure.
Wow.
So I have video of it. I'm trying to be all cool, but I'm up against the hull or whatever the inside of the boat.
Yeah.
But I'm like back up against the thing, and I'm just like trying to take pictures all nervously. Like I'm scared to death that this boat's gonna go into the bottom. I can't see the bottom. On the way back though, I did ease towards the you know, so I could see the water. I could say I can't be on a boat crossing the Hudson and not look at the damn water. You know what I mean? So I did do that, but yeah. Long story short, we had a great time going to both games. I probably paid for one meal more than I've paid in my entire life on that trip in one sitting. Yep. It was like almost $300, but it was worth every penny. Oh my God, it was a Korean.
He's like, what are you eating?
It was a Korean steakhouse, man, and they brought us.
This is nice.
We were only eating like 1 ounce cubes of steak, and I was pissed off about that at first, but as the meal went on, you got full, like you really did.
Yeah.
But I only had like one beer, and we shared a meal, but it was like $300 each, bruh. It was the best steak I've had in my life. It was really, really good. Well, I don't know about the best, but it was really, really good. But it was the most I've ever spent in my life on one meal for me with one beer. It was ridiculous. And this dude didn't have any alcohol, but the other three had massive amounts of alcohol. So I can't even imagine how much their bill was. Yeah. I just know mine was almost $3, and I only had one beer. So
yeah, crazy.
You take that for what it is. But that was an amazing trip. Sorry to go on a tangent, but that was an amazing trip. Larry, you're welcome to go with us on our next one next year, especially if we do go to L.A., because that would actually be fun to have one L.A. dude sitting in the middle of a whole bunch of Nuggets jerseys. In the Forum.
Where does John Morant play? I want to go there.
He trying to be funny. It's crypto.com. It's not even the Staples Center. Smart Alex.
Where does Ja play? That's in Memphis, and I'd be down for that.
Yeah,
that's still on the list, but and that's higher up on the list than
Portland.
Humpback Beach.
Whatever, dude.
Portland's like last stop. I'm just playing. No, I'd rather go to Toronto. I'd rather go to.
You're just not crunchy enough for Portland, bro.
Okay,
I'm okay with that. I've already been to OKC.
It's because I heard that their crowd. It's got that college basketball.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of hillbillies, drunk hillbillies. That's all it is.
Okay.
They have a good time though. It's not a bad scene. Phoenix was pretty cool too. Madison Square Garden was just more nostalgic.
Have you ever been up to Oracle? They say it's like uppity, the uppity crowd.
Where's Oracle again?
In Golden State.
Nah, but that's on the list. On the list. We probably won't make it before Curry retires, unless we try to go 2-3 next season. But we'll have to talk about that later, man. That's trying to, especially now that flying is going to get exponentially harder. Because now you got to get these new IDs and stuff like that to fly. So we may have to do a lot of road trips, with Mark loves. Let me tell you.
I got the ID. I'm flying. I don't know what you're talking about. You can drive. I got my ID, dog.
Was it a hassle?
No, it's
real
not, ID. You just have to renew your license and you get it.
That's all it is.
Some states don't have it. But
I might have it because I literally just renewed my license in December.
I think you're fine.
So yeah,
how far ago? Because
it's a little black star on the top of your license. I think.
Oh, I got that.
I think you're fine. If you have that.
Yeah, you're fine.
Black star.
I'm like really over exaggerating as because a lot of people have been complaining about it. But I don't want to get into that. That has nothing to do with sports.
I know. This 15 minutes hasn't been about sports. And then we talked 30 minutes about Carmelo Anthony.
That's sports. That's sports.
Yeah, but
talk about Carmelo.
But it's funny because we started that.
I know.
That thing out with. Why are we talking about Carmelo Anthony? We don't even need to do it.
I know. Come get your sports license.
This dude poked the bear, and he knows it. He knows it. He did it on purpose.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, get your sports license.
All right, so now we've got about 11 minutes left in the show here. I want to go through definitely because, and this one's for you, Ryan. We haven't seen Ryan's reacts in weeks, but we all know why. He's a workaholic. He's been working a lot of hours, so he hasn't had the time. But regardless, we were talking the other day at work, and he was giving me flack. Said that he feels like he has more picks than you and I do. Like he thinks he's dead on exactly what the
Unfortunately.
East and West has shaped up to be. Now, we do have 4 more games left, and there is a little bit of tweaking that could happen. Like the Nuggets could fall. So could a couple of other teams, and a
Especially
couple
in
other
the
teams could
West.
come up. Yeah, mostly in the West.
Especially, yeah.
Mostly in the West, there's a lot of turmoil. So we're gonna go through, and we're gonna check this out here. Okay, so we're gonna start with Ryan. Okay, and I'm gonna write in here, and we're gonna start in the East, and I'm gonna write in here whether he was wrong or if he was right. Okay.
All
All right. So Ryan, and you can see, right? You can see these, right?
Okay, yeah.
So you can. I'll turn it towards you so you can see. All right. So he chose Boston as the number 1 in the East. Cleveland is the number 1.
Exactly.
So we'll put a W for wrong. He said the Knicks would be number 2. Boston is number 2. W for wrong. What am I being a dick? What are you laughing at?
Yes, man. You're putting a lot of emphasis on
On wrong.
On W.
putting
It's a capital W.
LW.
I thought it was just one W.
He said the Cavs would be number 4. Or excuse me, number 3. Wrong.
See.
Indiana would be number 4. Let's see. Oh, you got that one right. We'll put a big R for right. All right. He said the Bucks would be. Let's see. Where am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. He was right about the Bucks.
Okay, 2 rights.
All right. Philadelphia. All right. I ain't even got to look. Wrong. Miami. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1,
It's
2,
wrong.
3, 7. So that's wrong. Atlanta
Wrong.
at number 8. No, I think he's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, he was close though, but wrong. And then Chicago. Wrong.
At least you got 2 right.
So he got 2 right. 2. We're going to go in the West.
I'd be lucky if I get 1.
Me and this guy bump heads about sports in the office all the time, man. We're always like, what are you talking about? You know, that's how we talk about sports in the office.
I
It's
know he
fun.
didn't get my Lakers 3, so.
All right, so in the West, he had Minnesota as number 1. Wrong. Hold on, let me get down here. I didn't even need to look at the standings. All right, and wrong. All right, he had Dallas at number 2. Wrong. He had Denver at number 4. Could be right. That I'm gonna put it as wrong, but that is a possibility still.
Okay. That's a question mark. Put
Yeah, I'll put a question mark. You're right. Asterisk that. We'll just asterisk. I forget where the damn asterisk is on here. There we go. All right, and then he's got Memphis at number 4.
That's wrong. They're not going to make it to 4.
Wrong. You know what? That still could happen, though, so I'm going to asterisk that one, too. Like I said,
Yeah.
the ones in the West are
it's so
still –
lumped.
because if the Nuggets lose 2 or
It's
3 –
so lumped together.
it is. So anything past – well, you know what? I'm going to put a asterisk. No, because that one's wrong anyways, because Dallas is definitely not going to make it to the 2, so that one's wrong.
Right.
Okay. What the hell is that? That's gonna drive me nuts. OCD's a BI. Anyway, okay, he had Houston at number 5, and I'm gonna call that wrong because I don't think they'll drop to 5. They'll probably drop as low as 4, even if anything happens. I'm still gonna put an asterisk on there because the possibility is there that they could drop to 5.
Everybody in the West.
Pretty much. Let's see. And then he had New Orleans. Wrong. Then he had Sacramento.
Wrong.
Oh, wait. 1,
No,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th place. No, they can't get 7th. The highest they can get is 8. Yep.
8.
So wrong. San Antonio. Wrong. And then he had the Lakers in last place or in the play-in.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Do better.
So right now he has 3 opportunities to be right in the West, but otherwise, brother, you was wrong all the way through the West. Okay, so now to Larry.
Oh,
Let's see where Larry is.
I'm worse than wrong. What's worse than wrong?
All right, so we all know Cleveland is number 1 in the East. So you had Boston.
Yeah.
That's wrong. You had the Bucks as number 2. Wrong. The Knicks is number 3. That one's actually right. Knicks are number 3. You had Philadelphia. Wrong. You had the Cavs. Wrong. Indiana, that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, they're in the 4th spot. I'm going to give you an R for that one. Because, yeah, they're not in the 5th. They went up 1.
Okay.
So I'll give you that one. Let's see. Then you had Miami.
Wrong.
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 Orlando.
Wrong. Wait, hold on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a right.
Yeah. Got more than you.
Got more than Ryan. Got
yeah.
one more than Ryan. Then you foolishly had Toronto.
I don't know.
Wrong. And then Chicago. Oh, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're up one than you had. I'll give you that. All right. So in the West, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 right. Excuse me, in the East. How much time we got? We got 4 minutes. Okay. I definitely want to get to mine. Okay, so in the West. You had Minnesota. Wrong. Then you had Denver at the 2. I'm going to put wrong, but we're going to asterisk that one because they could still get the 2. Then you had OKC at number 3. Wrong, because they're not falling to that. Then you had Sacramento. Wrong. If I could make that any more bolder of a wrong. Then you had Phoenix. That's another bold wrong.
Oof.
Then you had Nowlands. Wrong.
Oof.
Then you had Dallas. Where is Dallas? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wrong.
Not wrong. Then you had your own Lakers in the play-in scenario. Wrong.
Well, they didn't make no additions until mid-season.
Then you have Memphis at the 7 spot, and they're well above that. So that's a wrong.
Yeah, my West was
Golden State Warriors, you had them in the 8th spot. They
Wrong.
worked their way up. They're way past that. So the only one that you could get right is if Denver wins out and gets that number 2 seed, and then you'll have one right in the West.
Other than that, nothing.
Wrong.
Wrong.
All right, let's see. Last but not least, mine. All right, so I think we all had Boston.
At 1.
We did. So I was wrong. Philadelphia, wrong. The Knicks, I had right because they are in 3rd place. Indiana, I had right because they are in 4th place. The Cavs, wrong. Milwaukee, wrong. Oh, no, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I actually had Milwaukee right. I almost screwed myself over there. Then I had Orlando, and it's not. It's Detroit, so wrong. Then I had Miami, wrong. Atlanta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're one up than I thought they would be, so I'm going to give myself a right just like I did if we're doing it fair and evenly. And then I had Brooklyn, wrong. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So you and I are tied in the East. Damn it, I only got 1 minute left. Let me try to breeze through. All right. So in the West, I had OKC right. I had Denver wrong with an asterisk. I had Sacramento wrong. I had Minnesota wrong. I had Dallas wrong. I had Memphis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had Memphis right. Then I had Phoenix wrong. New Orleans wrong. The Clippers. Oh, did I get the Clippers right? 1, 2, 3.
They're in the 8th spot. Or 8th.
Nope, I got them wrong. They're up higher, though. They're up higher. I'll give them that. And then the Golden State Warriors, I had wrong. Okay, so I got one right. I knew OKC would be the top. And then I could get the Denver Nuggets right.
Everybody did better in the East than the West.
Yeah, I mean the West is
so-
the West is the West, dude. I mean it's always been the West like that. It's you never know until the end of the season.
The last couple of games.
With that said, I will be at the Nuggets game tonight, cheering on our boys to win at least one of the last 4 games. Thank you on behalf of all the people that helped put this show together. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe on IG. For Sohai Cafe. Don't forget to come on by 4300 West Alameda in Denver, Colorado, and tell Vinny the Sportz Phenz sent you. And I Envy Vision, we see you, and we will see you next week at 2 p.m. Holla at your boys. Peace.
Peace.